Well, good morning, pre-algebra class, and welcome to another week. This week's going to look a little bit different than what we're normal to. I don't actually have a lesson because we've kind of come to the end of the unit that we're in. Now we are still in the process of figuring how this unit's going to end. We may end up combining Part B and Part A together and make it one unit. But I will let you know when those changes have happened and how that's going to work. But for right now, we've kind of come to the end of our unit, and I gave you some study guide materials to use or ideas that can kind of help you study for this assessment. So this lesson is going to kind of refer back to week 7 weekly instructional lesson. It's not going to be anything new or new lesson, but I'm kind of going to refer back to it and say, if you're at this point, then you need to continue working in this unit and complete these weekly instructional lessons. And it's kind of a reminder for you. So I'm just going to kind of refer back to week 7 because that kind of kicks off our weekly instructional lessons. The ones before this were just practice problems that you did actually in the review content assessment, but I still would like you to complete those. But week 7 is where we started our first instructional lesson on addition and subtraction problems with negative numbers. So this unit is going to focus on this idea of negative numbers, and hopefully you have taken the content assessment and passed it already. But as I advise you to continue working through this unit, I did again want to refer back to this lesson where you're identifying and solving addition and subtraction problems with negative numbers in real world scenarios. So remember, this is going to kind of help you work through the unit and help you understand the process of how to apply or how to solve negative numbers based on the rules that I gave you. If I can remember off the top of my head, when we subtract integers, it's that keep, change. The first number is kept the same. We change the subtraction to a addition. And the second part, as you can see in this explain section here, the second part is then flipped to a negative. If it's positive, if it's negative or positive, it goes to a negative. And then we go to the addition side. And the addition side has two conditions. If they're the same sign, even if they're negative, both negative or both positive, you add them and you keep the sign. So if we have -5 plus -4, it becomes -9. If we have 5 plus 4, it's 9. So they're very simple. The subtraction side ends up being, if we have different signs, if I have something like -5 plus 4, I would subtract the two numbers. So 5 minus 4 is 1, and I would keep the sign of the larger number, which is 5, which ends up being negative. And if I can probably show you on this whiteboard here, my example is if I had something like -4 plus -3, that would give me -7, or 4 plus 3 is 7. So this is the adding the same signs. If I have different signs, all right, and I always put parentheses around the second number because it keeps it separate from this operation, just like it did up here, where it's not looking like this, and that kind of looks confusing to me. All right, so I kind of keep parentheses around that second digit with its sign. So -5 plus 4, again, we subtract 5 minus 4 is 1, and we keep the sign of the larger number, which ends up being negative. And again, if I subtracted like this, always do this, we would say we would keep, change, and since this is positive, I would go to a negative. And then I would use my same sign rules. 2 plus 1 is 3, becomes -3. So this kind of ends up being a reteaching moment where if some of you needed some more guidance, I kind of wanted to give that to you. So if you have not come to this point, you need to complete this lesson and kind of move forward. And this is sort of something that we might do every week where we're coming back and kind of re-looking at a lesson that we already did. So again, continue to work through this lesson. Any changes on this unit, I will update you with. This link to this video will be found, I will share it with you in week 10, because it's going to kind of have you go back and review some of the major concepts that we talked about. So hopefully this helped. Have a great week. Continue working hard and ask questions when needed, and we'll get through this unit together. Thank you.